pleasant Monday afternoon to everyone. Welcome back to the Model Works. I'm going to do this video or I wanted to do this video rather in response to, well, not necessarily in response. I've already responded to a couple of subscribers who sent me private messages within the last, I'd say, couple of months. Or maybe a little bit longer than that. Actually more than a couple. There's been more than a couple of issues that I've been asked about with Paasche Airbrushes, and I've already responded to them, and I told them to kind of be looking out for a video that I had planned to do, motivated by those questions that they had asked me, and in hopes that maybe I could help someone else who was having either the same issue or could maybe offset someone from having the same trouble that these individuals. Frustration that I got, I guess, from the first individual that sent me the PM was that he had a Paasche H, and it was primarily his only gun that he'd been using, and he wanted to move up to one of the Paasche. This is the Paasche H single action external mix, which means that the paint is drawn up. There's a bottle that goes up. I'm not gonna get the bottles out, but there's a bottle that goes in here. Paint's drawn up through here. Air comes up through the air hose out through here, and the paint and the air is mixed externally outside the body of the gun, and that's where the term external mix comes from. The one below it is the Paasche SI, which is the stands for single action internal mix. So basically the only difference between the H and this one is that you have the same paint jar, air hose hooks here, air comes up through here, paint comes up through here, but the air paint mixture is done inside the body of the gun and then atomized outside. So that's the only difference between those two. And the difference, one of the other differences is the needle nozzle combination is here. You have an Allen head. I mean an Allen head screw that comes out here. The needle comes out and the nozzle comes out. The air cap unscrews and it's all right there at the end. With the SI, you have a needle just like you do I'm not going to take it apart, but you have a needle just like you would a double action gun. It pulls out. You can pull the trigger out. Needle and nozzle come loose and clean it. Blah blah blah. Put it back together, so forth, so on. But anyway, that's that. Now, what the frustration part came from, that he had stepped up to. This is the Paasche Talon. This is double action, and double action means that push button down for air, pull button back for trigger, rather than button. Push down for air, pull back for paint. As I said, this individual had been using the Paasche H for everything that he was doing model building wise. He was a car builder, or is a car builder, and he was using it for primer, for base coat, for clear coat. It was his go-to gun, only gun that he owned. So he decided to step up to the Talon. The frustration part came when he got the Talon and he set it up, and he ordered it with the I think pretty much this comes with standard with the .38 millimeter needle nozzle setup. So he got it. I think the first thing he said he did was going to be to shoot some primer. So he put some primer in the cup, set his air pressure at I think 25 pounds like he said he always did, and he couldn't get anything to come out, or very little to come out. He just didn't spray like his Paasche H did. And I asked him, I said, well, what's the issue? And he said, I'm doing the same thing I did, with the Paasche H. I said, well, your air pressure the same. I got the same setup just like I do with my Paasche H3 setup. And then the flags came up. he was confused, and and some other people I think are as well. There was another individual that had the same problem, just the other way around. Basically, he had the one of the double action guns, and he bought the Paasche H and couldn't understand why it was blowing paint everywhere. But with the single action Paasche guns, which I'm going to say just from my experience, the SI and the H, the numerical naming system for these guns are 1, 3, and 5. Do not get that confused with millimeter size, because it has nothing to do with millimeter size. The 1, 3, and 5 are just numerical names for the setups that come with these guns. The 1, H1 or S1, whichever one, the 1 is 0.5 millimeter. I think it's 0.5 and change. Same way with all the other numbers, it's just whatever and some change. So we'll just round it off. 0.5 and change millimeter. The H3, S3 is 0.7 millimeter, and the number 5 setup is 1.0 millimeter, 1 millimeter. With the Talon, this is the Vision, which is just a clone of this gun here, except for the fact you have a MAC valve. You have a MAC valve at the head of the gun, which is a micro adjustment valve, which lets you control your air pressure here at the gun versus just you can set your air pressure at the compressor for 30, 25, 20 pounds, whatever you want, and then you can back off of it here or whatever. With these guns, the numerical naming system is based on millimeter. So don't get 3 confused with the 3 H3 setting or S3 setup here. The 3.3 millimeter is what the double action guns use. It's 0.38, and the needles and nozzles are interchangeable with the Talon and the Vision, and also they have another gun that is a real fine detail gun, as is this Vision with the 2 millimeter, but this is the Raptor, which is just a smaller reservoir gun, and it comes from the factory with a 0.25 millimeter. But anyway, the numerical names here are for millimeter. 0.38, you can get 0.20, 0.25, 0.38, and 0.66 are the needle nozzle combinations that you can order or buy extra after you get the gun or whatever for the double action guns. Now, I'm not familiar with the VL. I'm sure probably it's the same thing with the nozzles and needles, because they're pretty much the same guns, just in different forms and different looks and finishes and colors and what have you. So, let's don't get that confused. Now, problem with this gun and the H5 setup with it, or this one here, either one, is that if you have an air compressor that is I like to call it a pay-as-you-go, an air-as-you-go, if you will, tankless air compressor that manufactures air as you need it. Those air compressors pretty much have a hard time keeping up with keeping air pressure with the number 5 setup, just because it's a 1 millimeter nozzle in this thing, and it puts out so much paint and so much air that for the compressor, for the air part of it, the compressor doesn't care how much paint it puts out, but from the air standpoint, it has a hard time keeping up with the air, with that much air coming out of the gun. So I never use the 5, or very seldom do I use the 5. I've used it a few times. I think I've even used it on video. And what will happen is that on your pressure regulator, you'll look and you'll have your pressure set at 30 or 32 pounds or whatever you've got it set at. When you push the trigger down, you can sit there and watch it. I mean, almost within 2 seconds, the air pressure starts to drop on the regulator, and within 10-15 seconds, it'll be down to like 18 pounds from 30 pounds. So unless you've got an air compressor that has a tank where you can maintain line pressure at 30 pounds, this is not a good idea, because what will happen is you will be spraying for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever, at 30 pounds, and the air and the paint mixture will be one consistency, and 10 seconds later it will be trying to put out the same amount of paint with less air, and the paint will not on the body of the subject will not be the same. It will not atomize the same. It will start to atomize the paint less with less air that's coming out. So I just don't fool with the H5 setup with the Paasche H or the S5 with this gun. I use this one primarily for clears and primers now, and I use these guns for pretty much my paint work. I have a fan cap. This one has a fan cap that comes with it, and you can use the 0.6 millimeter needle and nozzle setup, and you can use you can get a 3-inch wide pattern, and it's great for laying down pearls and candies and what have you. Puts it down real even. You can go across the body and get the whole body at one time and not have to worry about tiger striping with candy paints and what have you. So just keep in mind that the numerical sequence of these guns is 1, 3, and 5, which is 0.5, 0.7 millimeter, and 1.0 millimeter for the 1, 3, and 5 setup. These over here are strictly by millimeter. Don't be thinking that there's a number 2 setup or a number 3 setup or whatever. The nomenclature for these are in their millimeter size. I stay pretty much with the 3 just because I use this for my clears and my primers pretty much. So, alright, I guess that's pretty much all for right now. I hope that helps some people, and I think I got my subscribers that were having the issues. I think they got them on the right track. And this has gone on way too long, and I kind of got sidetracked talking about the guns and what they're capable of doing. But I love my Paasche guns. I have some Iwatas, but these are tough guns. They are workhorses. They easy to clean, easy to take apart, easy to maintain. Great customer service. So if you are looking at getting a new gun, give the Paasche guns a look-see. A lot of bang for the buck. Alright, until I talk to you again, take care of one another. May God bless you and your family. Don't take any crap from anyone. See you soon.